get them in there for a viewing before you're gonna go in, like drill down in depth of, okay, what do you have for a down payment? What can you afford monthly? Like keep it kind of open ended.
Carl, tell us what's going on in your world. What's your KPIs look like?
I have two active leads that I'm working on, and I have some questions about those. And I also got a message from the AO that I have active, which I have a question for Nick for. So, but that can also wait till later. So, do you want me to ask the questions about this one lead especially that I'm working on?
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this lady made me talk to her realtor. She had it listed and it wasn't expired. So the rundown is the house is not selling, mainly because the air conditioner is broken and the roof is outdated, which it seemed like it's causing insurance problems. On top of that, they have a tenant in place till December. So that's the short version of that. So they are extremely interested in going. So I talked to the realtor, and he's extremely interested in doing this. Like, I guess it's a friend or something, but he wants to suggest this to her. Now, I rewatched the whole tenant thing, video that you have, guys, to refresh my memory. So even though Nick is always suggesting not to go with a property with a tenant, it seems doable if the numbers adds up, right? Or
Sure.
not. Okay, so how does that work when you have such two big items that need to be replaced or fixed? Like, how do you work with a property like that?
Well, that's the part, right? That's the part that you got to be aware of. You're now turning into a landlord. And if you're inheriting the tenant, it's not the tenant's responsibility, it's yours. You're now the owner and the landlord of the property, right? If things need to be fixed, I would be negotiating with the seller previous to you acquiring the property. Or that is your responsibility and you're the one saying you're going to fix those things.
So he has window units. Okay, so let's pretend there's no tenant in place. So if
Yep.
you have a property that the main AC needs, because we're in Florida, needs to be fixed. So how do you work with a property like that? Like, do you market it like that? And the person that's buying it will say, okay, this is too big ticket items because there's probably not going to be able to get an insurance because of the roof. It's not leaking, but it's an original roof. And here in Florida, they're really pushing for that to be changed.
Yeah, so let's hit two things, right? There's two pieces to this. There's I'm going to use negotiation, right, as the word, just because we all know that. There's the negotiation with the seller and determining what you're willing to take on and then what they're responsible for before the property is sold to you, just like if you're buying a traditional. Then once that's agreed upon, then you're going to make the decision on how you're going to present it to the buyer. So if the circumstance is that you're willing to take on the challenges of the property, AC, roof, with the acquisition, and the seller's not going to take care of everything, as long as the terms make sense and the price point makes sense, right? Because you're going to have to build in, if you're handling those things, it has to come with the purchase. Then you can present it to the buyer and say, this is a work for equity, and you're going to have to replace the roof and the AC sometime within X amount of time. As far as insurance, you're the one, if you're acquiring it as a lease purchase, the insurance is staying with the seller, right? And you're paying it on their behalf. So is there already insurance on the property?
I don't know. I'll be talking to him this afternoon about more detail on numbers that he's going to get.
So let's find out that, right? Let's find out if there's insurance still on the property. Because if there is, then the likelihood of you being able to get insurance too is probably high. But if like there's a worry, right, of a transfer of deed and then not be able to get that properly insured, then you can just tie this thing up as a lease purchase, right, and then sell it as a handyman special, and you're just handling the difference in the middle, right? So we just got to work on the negotiation part of the the seller side first, and then we'll worry about the buyer. Because if we don't have this under agreement, there's no point in discussing how we're going to market the property to the buyer yet.
Right, yeah, well, I'm like worried because we're talking about like $23,000, you know, and like,
Well, just to help
Right.
you with your worry, if there's nothing wrong with the roof and there's no leak or anything, that's the conventional world, and what all realtors will lead sellers to believe, that they need to do everything. If there's no active leak in the roof, there's no reason to replace it. There's no real reason to even disclose it if there's no active leak in the roof. If there's no active leak in the roof,
right,
so
yeah, no,
that's not an issue. The air conditioning, yeah, kind of an issue, yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, what you can then do, assuming, right, that we agree upon everything and the numbers make sense, you can then just provide that to the buyer. Hey, look, we're selling you some rent to own. Here's the things in which you're going to need to improve. That's going to obviously increase the equity in the property. You obviously, if you're willing to move into the property, you're using window units. So like, just so you're aware of, it gets very hot up here as well in New England, and a majority of the houses in New England do not have, unless they've been fully redone, do not have, central air. There's
Right.
lots of us that use window units, including myself as of right now. So I will be one of those people that uses window units right now. And you know, that's more than okay for most places until they decide to fix the AC, right?
I don't really think it's an issue for I don't think it's something to worry about. But like Zach said, handle the you buying it first. But it's not an issue. We'll help you with that.
Yeah.
so negotiate with them the price to go down. I mean, I'm already at the point where she's willing to go $15,000 down of what she's asking right now, because the realtor
No money
jumped-
down.
What? No money down.
Okay.
I don't know
So
the rest of the
again,
numbers
What are
yet.
you still doing here?
Yeah. So assuming you get that tied up, right, then the question becomes: do you want to inherit the tenant or not? Right.
Okay.
And if the numbers make sense for you to inherit, like, is she cash flowing this right now?
I don't know. That's what I will find out this afternoon. He
Okay.
was going to get me all the numbers because he
So
was out
price-
of town.
Yep. So at this point in time, you need price. You're gonna need what's the mortgage payment, mortgage balance, what's the lease look like, what's included, what's not included, how long of a time frame is this? A tenant at will? Is it a long-term lease? How much?
Well,
Those
she
will
said
be important.
December. She said December. Have you met
Oh.
the tenant though, Corolla?
Oh,
No. I just
Yeah,
talked
that's
to him
important.
again.
That's very important.
but we're already in August, so you could just, and let's assume it takes you 2 more weeks to tie this thing up. Now you're midway through August. You could just tie it up contingent upon the tenant leaving in December and you filling the property in December. And now
Okay.
you have 90 days to fill the property.
All right.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunity. Yeah. I wouldn't, just keep focused on the basics right now.
Sounds like a good one. Sounds like potential to be a good one, Corolla.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Can I ask the second question real quick, or does somebody else wants to
You
talk?
gotta go
that's
super
fine.
fast though.
Okay, I'll go really super fast. So I got a message for the property that I have listed right now, and I have not talked to her yet because I just got this message right before I actually hopped on here.
Right.
That she's asking if if she's putting down a deposit, could that potentially mean that she's paying less in rent per month? Which I know the answer is going to be no. How do I bring that
Well, not
Oh, no.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
Nick, go ahead. You start it and then I'll finish.
I was just gonna say it totally depends on what they do for a down payment. So you don't want to just flat out say no to them, but just take it one step at a time with that person. I would first, Cruel, I would speak with them. That's important. And I would just take it one step at a time and bring them back to the process. Have you seen the bit like, hey, it's available through a rent-to-own program. Our program isn't a great fit for everyone. Bring them through the process, and then if they call you back after seeing the video and they want to see it, get them in there for a viewing, send them the forms. As soon as you set that up, and just take it one step at a time with them. Keep it open, because there's no hard and fast rule that if they put 20 or 30% down, could you move a little bit on the payment, on the monthly payment? Yeah, that's a decision you have to make, but
For sure.
not within the 3 to 10% range. No, of course not.
Okay, so this is an AO, just to refresh your memory, but also, so when she asked me that question directly, how do I answer that?
I would make sure I would follow everything that Nick just said. I would just make sure that she understands the process first and foremost. She's gone through the videos. Then I would be walking her through the basic questions. How much money, if you were accepted, do you have down today? Like I want to get a bigger picture. Then, right, because it's an AO. Then you present the package. So you're right now just in discovery mode. I wouldn't be attached to anything. Just be in discovery mode, and then go from there.
But also, Corolla, you haven't even spoke with this person once, so I would just bring him back to the process and get him in there for a viewing before you're gonna go in, like drill down in depth of, okay, what do you have for a down payment? What can you afford monthly? Like, I would just keep it kind of open ended.
For sure.
Gotcha. All right, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.